Yes, children. So finally we understood due to the increased competition, even our few topmost Indian companies are also benefited out of that. Okay. And then we'll see here how they got the benefits. See, they have invested in some new technology and production method and raised their production standards. So as I told you people, how they have been improved due to some new technology, adoption of some new technology. So once they adopt the new technology of production, what happens? Of course the production standards will improve. Okay, that is a one thing, guys. You understood, right? How due to the competition, how Indian the companies also got benefited. One, it is due to the technology adoption, the production has been increased. And the one more thing, some have gained from successful collaboration with foreign companies. So as I told you people, some MNCs, what are the way they used to collaborate? So they used to purchase the local companies, or they used to merge with the local companies, like that. So finally, due to the collaboration with the foreign companies also, few our Indian companies got benefited due to this huge competition. Okay, guys, you people understood, right? Yes, children. And the next one, it is, see, globalization has enabled some large Indian companies to emerge as a multinational. So, whichever the companies which were the Indian companies, they started to become like a multinational companies. Which are those companies? Let us see, children. The few topmost companies, they have given the examples in your textbook. That is Tata Motors. It is one of the automobile industry or the company. And then Infosys, that is the IT company. Okay. And then Ranbaxy, it is one of the medicine company. And then the Asian Paints, the paints which we will be using. And then the one more, it is Sundaram Fasteners, that is nuts and bolts, that is TVS company. Okay, so like that, the many Indian companies has been turned into multinational organizations. Okay, and then we'll see, globalization has also created new opportunities for companies providing services, particularly those involving in IT. So as we know that not only the products, even some services also we are getting through this globalization. Okay, so nowadays we'll be seeing that IT hub Chennai, maybe Hyderabad, it may be Bangalore. So these areas and all, we can see what kind of the maximum, the many people used to migrate from villages to those cities. Okay, with the the searching of some job opportunities. What kind of job opportunities or services they are providing, children? Yes, it may be like a data entry, call centers. See here. Examples, Indian company is producing a magazine for the London-based company, that we have seen as an example in the last session. Yes or no, children? Due to the the communication, telecommunication and the information technology from India, the magazines used to print and we used to send it to the London. And even the money also used to transfer through. Yes, it's through the banking, online banking. Okay. So finally, that is one of the example we can see that. And then the call centers. So assistance to the people about the products. Okay. About the call centers also we'll be seeing. See. A host of services like data entry, accounting, administrative tasks, engineering are now being done cheaply in countries like India and are exported to the developed countries. So, as we know this, about this, we have learned in the beginning of this chapter only. That means India is providing the varieties of services to the the whole world, because we have got the huge population. That means labor cost is less, and then we are providing with the good English communication, also English communication. So due to that, what are the kinds of the services we are providing? It may be like a call center, it may be like a data entry, or it may be like a accounting, administrative, engineering works. So this all kinds of works we are providing for the very cheaper prices. The cost of labor is very less. So due to that, the cheaper prices we are providing the services, like in India and even some other countries also, where the population and the labor cost is less. And usually what we'll be doing that work are the services we will be sending to the some developed countries. Okay, we are sending those services to some of the developed countries. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? Yes, children. And the next one, it is about steps to attract foreign investment. So you guys understood, right, how it is affecting how the globalization is affecting our impact of globalization in India. So you have to make three categories. One is for the producers, one is for the consumers, and one more it's for the workers. Okay, for the producers it's a great huge competition and they are making more profit, and for the consumers we are getting the varieties of the goods with the good quality and the cheaper prices. And for the the workers, this is very much important, and how it is affecting. Okay, fine, children. And the next one, it is about steps to attract the foreign investment. How can we attract about this foreign investment? Let us see that. Okay, see here. The central and the state government in India are taking special steps to attract foreign companies to invest in India. So you people, do you remember what do you mean by investment? What do you mean by investment, children? Yes, the money or the amount which we'll be investing on the purchase of assets or the buildings or the machineries for the production activities. Yes or no? So that will call it as a investment. What do you mean by foreign investment, children? Some foreign companies will be investing in our country. Okay, so that is for that reason, even both the collaboration with the central government and the state government, they started with the special steps or the measures to attract this foreign investment. See here, the industrial zones called special economic zones are being set up to attract these foreign investors. In India, we have set up some special economic zones. We even call it as a industrial zones. Okay, that is special economic zones. We even call it as a industrial zones. See, special economic zones are to have world-class facilities. They'll be having some, the better are the special facilities. What are those facilities, children? Electricity, water, roads, transportation, storage, recreational and educational facilities. Because when the MNCs, they are investing in India, or the foreign investment, they are investing in some places, they will be seeing all these facilities. Okay, electricity is very much important, transportation is very much important, because they have to transfer the produced goods to some other places and they have to bring the raw materials. And then again, the warehouse, the storage is very much important. And recreational, for the workers, there should be some recreationals, and for the workers' children, there should be some educational facilities. So by seeing all those things, they'll be starting. The companies who set up production units in the special economic zones do not have to pay taxes for an initial period of 5 years. There is one more exemption, that is, they are exempted to pay taxes for the initial 5 years. Okay, guys, understand? There is an exemption to pay taxes for the initial 5 years when they set up the companies or the factories. Okay, and then government has also allowed flexibility in the labor laws attract foreign investment. So we have seen some labor laws, that is the organizational the companies has to follow some labor laws, security for the labors. But here even they are giving some exemptions for that, flexibility for the labor laws to attract the foreign investment, because the cost of production should be less for them to invest in some places. Okay, so that is the reason even in the flexibility in the labor laws. And see, The companies in the organized sectors have to obey certain rules that aim to protect the workers' right. So we know that in organized sector there are some certain rules are there compared to unorganized sector. But the government started to change even this, the laws, the organized sectors, whatever the workers' right have there, even that has been changed. See, in recent year, the government has allowed companies to ignore many of these. So whatever they were following in the organized sector, even those laws has been, liberal. That is, they try to ignore some laws also. See, instead of hiring workers on a regular basis, companies hire workers flexibility for short periods when there is intense pressure of works. So this we have seen, children. This is only, we call it as a disguised unemployment. Yes or no? The workers will be taken on the basis of, yes, the temporary agreements. Okay, based on the contracts they'll take, once the work has been completed, they will be removed. So that kind of flexibility also the government has given for the foreign investors. This is to reduce the cost of labor for the company. So as I told you, people, the MNCs, how they'll start? They'll see the cost of production has to be less. So that's the reason. Some cost of production, what happens for the few products, we can't reduce. For example, raw materials, we can't go with the compromise with the quality, or else some other things we can't go for the compromise. So only with the cost of labor they'll be playing. Okay. Yes. See, foreign companies are demanding more flexibility in labor laws. So the government has given already so many flexibilities, so many concessions, so many liberty to the foreign companies, but still the foreign companies are demanding for more flexibility in labor laws. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? Guys, understood about the concepts, right? Today we have understood about the impact of globalization in India and how to attract the, yes, foreign investment. So can you people recall that? Based on global impact of the globalization for the producers, consumers and the workers, you have to explain for all these three people. How about the producers, how it is affecting? Okay, and then the second one, it is for the consumers, how we are getting the varieties of products. Okay, how it is advantageous for the people to increase the standard of living of the people. And then coming to the workers. Okay, so how it is affecting for the workers lifestyle, that also we have to explain. And the next one we have seen about the steps to attract. Yes, that is about the foreign investment. How to attract foreign investment. So there are some steps. Even along with the state and the central government joined together, they have taken some measures or the steps to attract this foreign investment. They have created some special economic zones. Okay, they even call it as a industrial zones or the special economic zones. There they'll be having some facilities. What is that? Electricity, education facilities and transportation, roads, the recreation facilities, everything should be there to attract. Okay, and then the government has given even the one more facility, that is initially when they are starting with the, yes, the industry setup industry, that time it's not necessary for them to pay initial 5 years taxes. Okay, after that, yes, some labor laws, the flexibility in some labor laws. Okay, we'll go for recapitulation. What is the meaning of special economic zone and what mention the features that you have to explain, children? And how has globalization been advantageous to both producers as well as the consumers of India? You have to explain how it is advantageous for producers and the consumers. Okay, explain with 3 examples how top Indian companies have benefited from the globalization. What I know, how it is benefiting the production factors and then collaboration, that you have to explain along with some examples. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? If any doubts, guys, let me know. Okay, thank you all. Have a nice day. Guys, if any doubts, please let me know. I'm there to help you out, and I hope you all are preparing your own notes. Okay, have a nice day.